for anybody who's missing. All right, here we go. I'm going to put you guys so I can see you. I'd love to see your faces. I'm seeing a bunch of names and not a whole lot of faces. I see Emily, I see Stacy, I see Jennifer. Hey, Carol. I see Brian. Let's see. I see Cindy, Kelly. I see a beautiful picture of Louisa, but I don't see her. There's Susanna. All right. See, I love this. See, we're all in. I'm like business up front and pajamas on the bottom. So this is how I do things. All right. So we're going to get started. I've muted you all, but feel free. This is an open forum. If you need to talk, you want to ask a question, just unmute yourself. So first of all, congratulations. I want to congratulate you guys that you have self-nominated yourself to take action. You self-nominated yourself to take action and move forward and get uncomfortable in this business. And if you'll just hold tight with me for 3 simple weeks, about 15 to 30 minutes a day, doesn't have to be all at one time. That's not how I built this business. Most of you are doing something full-time right now. It needs to be in the pockets at those times. But my goal is that if you can just, go on this journey with me for 3 weeks, commit to 30 minutes a day with what I roll out, you're going to see some growth in your business and you're going to get really uncomfortable and you're going to surprise yourself with the conversations that you're having. Okay. So, you guys have big responsibilities. So not only have you self-nominated to partake in this activity for your own personal growth, but you have accountability in supporting someone else. So it's really important that you guys are paired with someone, and you'll see why as I kind of walk you through what we're going to do in the next 3 weeks. If you raised your hand before about lunchtime today, I tried really hard to make sure we had a buddy system for everybody. I'm seeing a couple names pop up that I haven't seen before, which is awesome. Welcome. It's never too late. But what I need you to do is send me a message or drop your name. You're probably not added to our thread yet. So drop your name. Send me a message. Actually, the easiest thing to do is going to send me a private message after this call so that I can check and make sure that everyone has a buddy. For those of you who were assigned a buddy, go into our thread page, our thread, Facebook thread. It's only going to be a thread for 3 weeks. It's not going to be a confusing thread you're going to have for the rest of the year. It's just going to be for 3 weeks. Go in there if you haven't already and see who you've been assigned to as your buddy. I want you to go in there and see who your buddy is. Okay, I wanted to get that out before I forgot. So make sure you do that. If you don't know who your buddy is, go look at the thread, the accountability thread, and message me if you don't see your name. All right. So here's the deal. So why am I doing this? Like, why all of a sudden? Well, I had this epiphany. Many of you were on the leadership training call last Wednesday with Susan Miller. And if I can just get some head nods from some of you, maybe you didn't listen to it live, but you heard it. I mean, did she freaking rock it? She freaking rocked it. And she always fires me up, just like Jessica Johnston. And to this day, I attribute a lot of the growth in my business to them. Pushing me and guiding me in getting me uncomfortable. And so as she was just firing me all up last week, I'm like, yes, she's right in that verbiage and it's just spot on. And oh my gosh, I got to talk to somebody like right now. And like by the time we'd gotten done with that leadership call, I'd messaged like 6 people. And I challenged all of you guys to go out and send 5 messages about the business opportunity to people that you've not talked with about the opportunity before. And the first 5 people to do it, I had a prize, and I actually just put it in the mail. I FedExed it. They were our 4 combination essential oils. What surprised me is how many folks just took action just because I said, hey, little prize here. If you just go talk to some people, I'm going to send a box of oils. And it made me kind of laugh how many people gunned it and sent out like 10 messages because there was a carrot on the other side. Fortunately or unfortunately, sometimes that's just how we work, is we like to have some obligation or guidance from someone and a goal in mind. But I had this epiphany because I'm like, that's what Jessica and Susan do. They challenge people to take action and to take action every day. And it's more effective when you're held accountable by someone holding you accountable to it. So I took a couple steps back and I'm like, how can we duplicate this with the team? How can we create some urgency, some accountability, and some direction to show you how simple this business actually is if you're just consistent. You don't have to move mountains. You don't have to take massive action every day. It doesn't have to consume you, but it does have to be consistent. It has to be consistent. There's one thing Amanda Ham posted from another Isagenix millionaire, I think it was yesterday, and she used the analogy of real estate and how someone was complaining they're a new business builder and they, weren't seeing many profits and they weren't really successful in the business. And the Isagenix millionaire came back and this person was really successful in real estate. And she drew the analogy to real estate, and she just said, how many seminars are you going to? How many when in real estate? How many seminars have you gone to? What are you doing to work up your business and create clients? And then drew her parallels to how much effort are you putting into the Isagenix business? And if you're not putting it in consistently, how can you expect to build a business? And if you're not talking about the financial opportunity, then how do you expect to open your doors, your virtual doors to a business, right? If you are hoping to break free financially, if you're hoping to build residual income, but you're not leading with confidence about the financial opportunity, how are you opening up your doors to your business, right? So that's what this call in the next 3 weeks is all about. It's about being bold, being brave, leading with the financial opportunity, but getting the kind of specifics from me. So I'm going to be kind of your virtual coach through a platform on our Facebook Run With Me page, which is just my business page. It's not a super active page. I just use it for things that I'm doing personally. And so I am going to walk you guys through step by step, day by day, what you can do to grow your business in a couple of minutes. And you're going to have an accountability buddy who's going to hold you accountable to it. So you're going to have an accountability buddy, but they're also going to be your accountability buddy, and they're going to hold you accountable. Okay. And if we have an odd number by the end of the night, one of you is going to be paired with me because I'm doing this right along with you. So let me take a step back. I'm getting really excited about all of it and the content and what's to roll out. I've spent hours on it and I'm just super excited about it. Think about many of you guys. I'm seeing some of you are new faces. Some of you have been around for quite some time. Some of you are just beginning to step into your leadership role. You're beginning to step into and beyond being a product user and really pursuing the business, but you're hesitant. You're uncomfortable. There's a huge opportunity, but you're not quite sure how to relay that to someone else. Can I get a nod of heads from some folks who feel that way? Like maybe you've walked away from, yep, I see Carol, I see Cindy, yeah, right? So maybe like you've seen enough of us do it and you know us and we're credible that you're like, wow, this works. But like, how do I convey that to other people? And how do I do it like with confidence, right? And so what I challenge, amen, says lady. So, right? You wouldn't be on this call if you didn't believe in the opportunity. It's freaking 9:30 on a Sunday night, right? Like you clearly think there's an opportunity, right? So I'm just going to help you take it to the next step. For those of you who were in celebration this year, the keynote speaker, you'll remember his story about jumping out of a plane, the parachute, right? And how he was just like so freaked out and so worked up and like couldn't catch his breath, and he jumps out of the airplane. And he was still questioning everything as he's like flying through the air and like thought he was going to die. And the guy behind him, was right behind him, pulls the string, the balloon goes out, whatever you call it, parachute, they land, they're fine. The guy was like totally freaked out, even though he'd gone through everything and prepared for it. And the guy who was his guide behind him said, man, you just have to breathe through the fear and success is on the other side, right? Like some of you are just like, you're so freaking fearful of like what people are going to think, or that you're going to say the wrong thing, or that somebody's going to think you're crazy. And you're hearing us as leaders guide you, and we're telling you what to do, but you're not quite taking that step anyway, even though you know on the other side there's freedom. On the other side, there's financial freedom. On the other side, there's a completely different life. But you have to breathe through it. And I had to breathe through it. Amanda Ham, Jessica Johnston, they coached me and told me certain things I needed to do. And I had to leverage their confidence when I didn't have it, right? I had to take steps in a direction in a business I knew nothing about, but I knew they were successful, and I just listened to them, right? So, God, just getting goosebumps thinking about it. But so that's the reality, right? So here is my 3-week vision for you guys. I've got some notes, so I want to make sure I don't miss it. Okay, wait, one last thing before we actually talk about what we're looking at, the actual like specifics on it. Think about this as we move forward and you guys begin leading with the business. And for some of you, that's going to be really uncomfortable at first, and then it's going to get really fun. I wish Melva was on the line because she could tell you how fun it is. When I challenged her to do and say some things, and she thought I was crazy, and now she's like, enrolling ultimate packs like they're hotcakes, and she's like, oh my God, I told them to start with the ultimate pack and they did. And I'm like, she breathed through the fear and she just did it, right? Why is that? So here's the deal. This is a business of network marketing. It's a business of you introducing your network, not mine, your network of people to these products and this financial opportunity. You are a credible human being amongst your network, right? You're credible. Think about who introduced you to these products. You're here today, most likely because you trusted the person who talked to you about it, because they were credible. You believed in them. That's what this business is all about, right? We're not in sales. We're not super salesy. We're not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. We are a product of these products. You're passionate about them. You're passionate about the financial opportunity, and you listened to someone else's passion because they were credible. Now I want you to take that thought and turn the mirror to yourself, because you are credible now, and it's your turn to pave it forward to other people. Other people deserve to hear about this within your network. Your credibility, your experience is going to bring in your network a heck of a lot better than they are me as a stranger. And so that's where I want you to take a deep breath and go through that fear and that parachute, and know that on the other side, if you take this guidance and you take these steps, yeah, you're going to get a lot of no's, you're going to get a lot of no responses, and you're going to get an occasional tell me more because I'm ready and I need something different. And those are the people you run with. And the people who don't respond, or the people that say no, I'm here to tell you that really it's just not right now. They're just not ready. It's not their space and their time right now. I look back at my top 100 list from 3 years ago, and probably 89 of those 100 people I have now personally enrolled. So this is not a business of instantaneously enrolling people. And that's one thing you guys are going to learn over the next 3 weeks as we kind of build out our business and we build out our connecting. People are on a decision cycle. You're going to have some early adapters who want to chat today and sign up tomorrow. And you're going to have a lot of late adapters that watch. But once they've watched and once they're sold on the product and the opportunity, man, they're all in. But if you fall short of the finish line and you do all this work up front and then you give up, like so many people give up before they get to the finish line. They didn't put in the time, right? So I highly encourage you to go back to Residual Rockstars and read the post Amanda Ham put up yesterday about one of the Isagenix millionaires who talks about treating this like a real estate business and how you grow your business. And it's really good. Okay, I'm rambling now. So let's talk about it. So here's the thing. A couple of things that are going to go on. My goal over the next 3 weeks is to motivate you to take small steps to grow a business, to actually get uncomfortable and step outside of just talking product and talk business. We're gonna focus on 3 platforms, and over the next 3 weeks, and also incorporate face-to-face conversations. Now, when I say 3 platforms, what I was going to do is this week was going to be Facebook, next week was going to be Instagram, and the following week is going to be LinkedIn. Having said that, as I post the ideas and action steps for each day, as we get into a week, maybe you don't have a LinkedIn account, maybe you don't have a professional network that you're working with, default to a different social media platform, right? So, or like, let's say you're really digging Facebook right now, and next week I say, okay, let's switch gears and go to Instagram. Just stay on Facebook. Maybe you're not a social media person at all. Make it all face-to-face, belly-to-belly. That's fine. I'm actually going to challenge you every day to have belly-to-belly conversations anyway, okay? Because people are getting way too far hidden behind their computers. And me personally, there's not a whole lot of self-satisfaction in hiding behind my computer. I get drained trying to connect to people virtually, and it gets lost in Facebook's Messenger for days, and I like just face-to-face conversation. So we're going to move through 3 weeks, and we're going to use 3 different platforms for messaging and for branding, just so you can get a taste of it. And so the goal is each week, you're going to need to have at least 4 posts within a social media platform to create awareness. Now, again, if the social media piece is just not your thing, that's fine. Although this is a call about somebody's had did several face-to-face meetings. Yes, Maria, aren't they more fun? Yes, they're awesome. They can feel and see your emotion. Totally agree. Totally agree. If you don't use social media, you know, this call is all about growing and getting uncomfortable. Maybe you should give it a whirl. This is all about taking a deep breath through fear and listening to your leaders and trying something different, okay? So we're going to do 3 different platforms, 3 different weeks. This week will be Facebook. Next week will be Instagram, and the last week will be LinkedIn. You can always just duplicate and stay on one platform, okay? So within each week, we're going to post just 4 times. If you post more than that, that is fine. I'm going to give you guidance on what to post, but each week I'm going to want you to post at least 4 times. And you don't really have to worry about writing all of this down, because every day on the Run With Me Facebook page, I'm actually going to post your assignments, and I'm going to post them the night before, because if you're anal like me and you work full-time, you need to know the day before anyway. So I've already posted for tomorrow in there tonight, what you need to do tomorrow. And so that's what I'll do every day. But the goal is, so you want to be creating a little bit of brand awareness on social media. Now, when I say brand awareness, I'm not talking about Isagenix at all. So, you know, I don't want you to think that I'm asking you to put a picture of you and your face in a shake every day. When I say brand awareness, I mean, who are you? What is your brand? Meaning, my brand is, I am a mom of 3 kids that loves to cook, loves to exercise, loves my children dearly, and a part of my life now is being a mompreneur. I've quit my day job, and I'm, you know, doing this work from home gig. That's my brand. That's who I am. Isagenix is not your brand. So if you haven't thought about what your brand is, start thinking about it now. So I'm going to give you guidance on that. So that's one piece of it, right? I think, can I get a nod of heads? Can everybody commit to 4 posts a week? Okay. And in the night before I give you some ideas on what to post. Okay. It's going to be really simple. Okay. That's the one step. The second step is, which is the key piece to this entire 3 weeks, is the connecting piece. So I'm just asking you guys to do the branding piece in the background, because we want to create some presence with your network, okay? So we've got to just create some presence. If you're not there at all, it makes it a little bit more difficult. So the second piece is going to be the connecting. And again, this will be posted every day, But this one you can just commit to memory because it's going to be the same one every single day after tomorrow. Tomorrow is a different assignment. Every day for the next 3 weeks, you're going to be challenged to connect with 5 people. 5 people every day. Every day. Okay? 3 of them can be through a piece of technology. You can either send them a text message, a phone call, you can send them a Facebook Messenger, you can send them an Instagram message, you can send them a LinkedIn message, however you want. I'm going to give you verbiage. I'm going to post it on the Run With Me page to give you some ideas on how to lead in with these conversations. But this is the challenge, right? Is I want you to connect with 3 people a day virtually and 2 people a day belly to belly, okay? That's going to be a challenge for some of you that are like in an office with the same like 4 people or in like an OR all day long, right? And you're going to say, but Melissa, I'm not around anybody. I'm going to say, do you drop your kids off at school? Are there people there? Do you pump your gas? Are there people there? Do you go to the grocery store? Are there people there? Do you get your nails did? Are there people there? Do you get your hair done? People there to get your teeth clean? You're not just in an office. You are running into people, okay? Now, I actually did this with myself, and I'll tell you, it's a fun game to put a little bit of pressure on yourself where, I told myself just for a while there, I was like, you have to connect with 2 people every day, 2 people face to face. And I'd get to like 8 o'clock at night and I'd be pulling in the driveway and I'm like, shit, I haven't talked to anybody. And then lo and behold, poor neighbor comes out in the driveway and guess what happens? We start talking and I find a way to weave in Isagenix, not in a salesy way. He was all hot and sweaty and he was in his gym clothes and we just got to talking and I was asking him what he uses as his post-workout. And this will be fun, guys, because over the next couple of weeks, I want us to share some of this dialogue, right? And where you're falling flat on your face and you're like, wow, that was horrible. And then I want you sharing like what went really well. Because the reality is every master was once a disaster, right? So you have to start somewhere. And so get really uncomfortable because the more conversations you have with strangers, the more comfortable and easier it's going to be for it to just roll off your tongue. I'll give you an example. I'll give you guys some coaching on this to make sure, Isagenix is a way of life for all of us. I was at a soccer game at 8:30 on Saturday morning. What did I have in my hand? I had a cup of Isagenix coffee. And at some point we got to talking about coffee. I don't even know how. She was asking me about, the bulletproof coffee. And I'm like, well, actually, I really love my coffee because it's low acidity. It's infused with coconut oil and green tea. And she's like, wow, where do you get that? Door opens for Melissa Henault to start talking, right, about Isagenix and then turn it back to her. So my point is you're going to be challenged to talk to strangers. And it's going to be awkward and you're going to feel weird. And then before you know it, you're going to have just a killer conversation that you completely knock out of the park and you're going to surprise yourself. And it never would have happened if you didn't skin your knees and fall on your face first, right? Okay. So that's the meat of what we're going to be doing is 5 connections a day. Okay. Now, I've got it planned out methodically so that there's going to be certain activities throughout the week I'm going to ask you to do. So like, for instance, towards the end of each week, one of my assignments additionally is going to be to go back through all your Facebook posts or whatever platform you're using for the week and look for the comments and the likes. And I'm going to give you verbiage on what to do to go back to those people and acknowledge that they've supported what you've posted. Can't tell you how many enrollments I've gotten from that. It's a very simple approach that's overlooked by many who spend a lot of time using social media to build a business, but forget to go back and see where people have commented on what they've posted. And it can be as simple as, gosh, thank you so much for your support. It's probably no secret that I'm super ecstatic about this company. What they've done for me. Is it something you'd ever be interested in learning about? I mean, it's that simple. And the door can open, right? So you'll see at the end of each week, I may ask you to do something like that. At the beginning of each week, I might ask you to expand your network a little bit and give you some specifics on how to do that. But the meat of these next 3 weeks is to reach out and connect and lead with this financial opportunity. Lead with the business, not the product. the business. And this is where some of you are going to get really uncomfortable and you're going to like want to vomit, like when you hit the send button and your like heart is going to race. I wish Martin was on here. He's not on here, but he is, he is a really high income earner in the industry that I was in. And he had liked a post of mine on LinkedIn about residual income. And I was like, wow, that's a surprise. Like, I don't know why I think it's a surprise. There's like, I don't know why. It shouldn't be a surprise. But I was like, I got to write him. And, this is someone I had worked with for years and thought for sure he would have judged what I was doing. And like literally almost threw up when I hit the send button. And then after I sent it, I'm like, man, can I get it back? I shouldn't have sent it, And I get a message from him the next day and he is excited. He's been in network marketing before. He's from the UK and he's really interested in this business. And he's coming to Super Saturday this weekend, y'all. Okay? You can't judge people. You're interested in it. You're doing it. You love the community. Don't people deserve to know about it? Okay. All right. I'll get off my soapbox. So just trust the process. Commit to what I'm going to ask you to do for the next 3 weeks. Now, accountability buddies. You're all accountability buddies. What's your job? So we have two roles in this. We're supposed to be a business owner taking action, creating interest on social media, connecting with people. The second piece to this is that you need to follow up with your accountability buddy and make sure they're doing their part every day. It's going to take you 1 minute to connect with that person at the end of each day. Okay. So to make sure that they're doing their job and that you're doing yours. Guys, who goes to the gym or like works out? Probably, some of us, right? How many of you work harder or show up more likely when there's someone there waiting on you? Right? Right? How many of you push a little harder? Happened to me this morning. I've got this OB that I work out with. God, she's just like, she's a freaking machine. Sometimes when she shows up, like she showed up at the 90-minute Orange Theory this morning, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to work out really hard today because she's going to get beside me and she's like looking at my mile pace. I can see her looking over my shoulder and I'm like seeing hers. And like, there's just something about knowing someone's watching you. She's going for that last rep, so I can't just stop and catch my breath, So my point is there's a lot of science behind having accountability buddies. So that job is just as important for you over the next 3 weeks as your job is to build your business. Okay? It's just as important. Don't go through your checklist on my Facebook post and do what you need to do and then forget about your accountability buddy. At the end of the night, set your alarm if you have to. If you go to bed at 10 o'clock, set your alarm for 9:58 to text your accountability buddy, send them screenshots of what you've done, ask them what they've completed, okay? Throughout the week, when there's slightly different assignments, accountability buddies are going to have slightly different things to follow up on. I'm going to post that on the Run With Me Facebook page each day. So you can see if there's anything specific that you need to ask for from your buddies. So like, for instance, the assignment tonight that I posted, I should have had it pulled up, but the first thing you need to do is, you don't have to make it a phone call. You can make it a text message if you want to connect through phone at some point. That's fine. It's late tonight. But there's just 3 things I want you to learn from your accountability buddy tonight. And that is, what do they do in their day job? Like, what's their profession? How long have they been using Isagenix? And then the last one that's really critical, because you're going to want to know this as the accountability buddy, is why are they doing this? Why are they building this business? Why are they interested in building this business? What's this going to do for them? Okay. I want you to find your accountability buddy and use Facebook Messenger. If you want to exchange telephone numbers, that's more instantaneous. If you can get each other's telephone numbers, then you're really going to hold each other accountable. Because if you're just using Facebook Messenger, if your accountability buddy sends you a message at 9:58, you can ignore it on Facebook Messenger. But unless you silence your phone, you're not going to miss that text message. It's like, hey, did you connect with your people today? I did. Here's some responses that I got, right? The reason knowing the why is important, and this is, as you guys will learn as you step up in your own leadership, is as you see throughout the next 3 weeks, shit's going to happen. Like kids are going to get sick. You're going to have 12 extra things to do at work. Maybe your basement floods like mine does, and your 1-year-old gets roseola, and your husband's out of town for 5 days. I don't know. And the daycare won't accept your child because he's not walking. Shit happens. It happens to everybody. The difference is priorities. Priorities. Is this business a priority or is it not? Is this business going to make you $100,000 a year, or is it going to make you 10? Right? It's all about priorities. So I'm just asking you to find that 30 minutes a day to do these activities and be that accountability buddy. And so I go back to why knowing your accountability buddies why is so important is because when things start to happen in their life and maybe they fall off the grid, maybe they go a day or two without connecting like they're supposed to, maybe you don't hear from them, maybe they give you a list this long as to why they didn't do it today. I want you to go back to that original message that they sent you on why they're doing this in the first place. Okay? That's your job. Why they're doing this in the first place. Because I can tell you right now, I had my why posted on top of my computer so that I had to see it every single day, so that when it was 4 a.m. or it was 10 o'clock at night, and I had a horrible day, I saw it and it drove me. And so that's your job as the accountability buddy, because your partner's going to lose sight of that. It's so easy to lose sight of it. And your accountability buddy is going to help bring you back into focus every day for 3 weeks. Okay. This isn't forever. It's for 3 weeks. And I want you guys to see what this can do for you. Okay. So I'm going to wrap up. Hopefully that was fairly clear. So your first assignment is to connect with your buddy. Make sure you send me a message if you don't have a buddy. Your second assignment, so you get a free pass tomorrow. There's no connecting tomorrow unless you just want to. Your first actual major, the first thing you have to do before you can be efficient at connecting is you have to have a list. Now, we've said it a million times, so hopefully you all have a list, but if you don't, I'm giving you 24 hours to come up with something. The best way to be efficient while working full-time is to have an organized list of your network of people that you want to connect with. If you have that accessible, I actually have mine saved in my phone. You can download documents, organize them however you want, but that way, when you've got 12 minutes between meetings and you're sucking down your shake for lunch, you can pull up your phone and you can fire off 3 or 4 messages based off of verbiage that I post for you on Facebook, and you can kind of neaten it up the way you want, but it makes it so quick. When you've only got 6 minutes and you don't have your list, you get frantic. People pick up their phones and start going to social media thinking they'll figure out what they need to do, which is not income producing. They find a squirrel and stare at that and they don't get anything done and their 12 minutes are gone, right? So your assignment between today and tomorrow night is to make sure you have an organized list of your what we call top 100. I don't think I'm talking to any brand newbies here. Everybody knows what a top 100 list is. Put pen to paper and get organized between your networks, whether it's church, whether it's the neighborhood, whether it's school communities, whether it's for your professional network, social media network. You can pull from your wedding list, your Christmas card list, your cell phone. I don't care. There's a million ways you can come up with a list and start tomorrow, right? So your first assignment is going to be to connect with your buddy, and by tomorrow night, send a screenshot of your list to your buddy, okay? I want you guys holding each other accountable for it, because that's your first job. And our actual connecting activities will start on Tuesday morning, okay? I'll post our first connecting activities on Monday night so that you can see them, and you'll see what your responsibility is to build your business and what your responsibility is as accountability buddy. So I'm fired up. I can't wait to see what conversations you guys get into. The other thing I'm going to fold in, I promise I'm about to wrap up, but what I'm going to fold in as we go along is you're going to be like, oh my God, this person just said this. What do I say? Or, this person has this question. What I want to make sure we're doing is sharing some of the communication that we're getting. So take screenshots, dump them into the thread that we have going, and we can group kind of coach to it and talk about it, how you would handle it. I want you guys to remember to go back to the basics and think about Susan Miller and think about duplication. Okay, we don't want to throw up when we're messaging people. We want to make it really simple. So we're going to coach through that over the next. And so this week, you guys will really kind of get the wheels turning. And then next week, you'll be like pros churning out these conversations. And on that final note, what I'll say is, because I'm totally into these oils these days, is that by Sunday, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little prize for the person in the group who actually conducts the most three-way calls because of the interest that they've generated, either with me or with anyone in your upline. So I'm going to ship off some of our Isagenix oils to the top, the person who conducts the most three-way calls. If you're like, what is a three-way call? I don't think there's anybody on the line who doesn't know what a three-way call is. But the idea is, and I'll post verbiage on this and step by step, but as you get someone who's interested in learning about the business, don't try to do it by yourself unless you just really want to. I love doing three-way calls about the business. You guys pull me in for validation, pull in your upline for validation. It doesn't have to be a long call. You can talk to Jennifer and Tammy. They've done some business calls with me lately. We don't spend more than 15 or 20 minutes on the call. We get down to business. So my prize is some oils for whoever has the most three-way calls by Sunday evening. And I'll run up something fun next week too. But have fun. Get uncomfortable, look at that chicken lister, and I want you to connect with someone that just makes you want to throw up, because I want you to recruit that energy that you want on your team, that leadership, that network of people that you know could just totally blow this business out of the water. Don't judge. Don't judge. All right. Anybody have questions before we wrap up? We're good? Okay, so we're clear, 5 connections a day. And I'm doing this with you guys, right? So we're not doing, and this is perfect timing with Dash to Disney. All right, I am going to stop the recording.